Hi everyone, welcome to some questions on acids, bases and neutralization. So this first question here, we have got some zinc carbonate reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. First part of the question is to describe what the student would see during this reaction. Okay, so zinc carbonate, so we've got a carbonate and an acid, so there's some general equations of metals and acids, things like that, metal and carbonate. Only worth a mark. Now there's a bunch of different answers you can have for this, bunch of different ones you can go for. We need something along the lines of effervescing, fizzing, bubbling, gaseous, any of those there you can have for a gas being produced, because we've got carbonate with an acid, we're going to get some carbon dioxide being produced, some CO2. So you need to mention that, the effervescing. Now for this question here, is what would you see during the reaction? Not saying what gas would you see, all this, that and the other, specifying for just that being produced. But what else would you see? So something else you need to include, which sometimes people don't, is saying what happened, the actual solid itself, or the zinc carbonate, or whatever carbonate it might be, saying that it dissolves in the acid. So that's the other part in there to make sure. So make sure if you ask those sort of questions, people get quite focused on the fact that the gas being produced, which is good, but also need to make sure you mention about that solid, whatever it might be, could potentially, but depending on what you've got, is going to dissolve. So that takes part of that first part of the question. Second part, write an equation for the reaction between zinc carbonate and dilute hydrochloric acids. Now putting equations together tends to be something that people struggle a little bit with, but hopefully this is a fairly straightforward one for a single mark. You would have been given what zinc carbonate is, hydrochloric acid, well it's HCl, and then what we're going to make, well, we're going to make some zinc chloride, carbon dioxide and water. Make sure that you go through and check that everything's balanced up. For our product, zinc chloride, zinc got a 2 plus charge, chlorine 1 minus charge, so therefore we need to be Cl2 in zinc chloride, and then make sure it's balanced up by putting a big 2 in front of the HCl. But hopefully start the question should hopefully be nice and straightforward. Okay, some multiple choice questions here. So question 2, which equation is not a neutralization reaction? So there's 4 equations there. Now neutralization reaction, again, you got to just start thinking, okay, what's a neutralization reaction? What am I trying to look for here? Well, neutralization, you're looking at something along the lines of an acid and a base, and you're thinking we should get some sort of water being produced. That's sort of the general gist of it. So looking here, which one is not? Well, I can see that B is, C is, D also is. Got an acid and a base in there. You know, we haven't got water there, but that was okay. So therefore, the only one we don't have is A. Now, you could sometimes just look at those and think straight away, I know A, yeah, that's not a neutralization reaction. But these questions, if in doubt, work through them, process of elimination. So like I just went through there, thinking, well, not sure about A, maybe A could be or not. I know that B definitely is, C definitely is, D also as well, so therefore it leaves me with A. So if you need to, process elimination. Right, question 3. Which reagent would exactly neutralize 100 centimeter cubed of 1 molar of H2SO4? So we've got A, B, C and D. Now again, looking at this, I've got sulfuric acid, so I know I've got some H plus ions and I've got some SO4 2 minus ions. So I've got to think what's going to nicely pair up with that to exactly neutralize it. So we've got all the same molar there. So we have 1 mole DM to minus 3, and we need to know how much of what other one needs to neutralize with it. So looking down these here, it's for this one it's going to be C. 0.1 mole of BaOH in brackets with a 2. Again, so with these questions here, if you're unsure, go through and think, well, what can't it be? What seems reasonable? And you're sort of working your way through, trying to determine which one is which. Now for these questions here, you've only got 1 mark. So you've only got roughly a minute, so the minute per marks. So you're going to have to be quick with these. So obviously you always want to keep an eye on the time. So something like this, you may need to go through and do some working out, things like that, you process elimination, but you still got to bear in mind that it is only worth 1 mark. So you've got to try and answer them as quickly and efficiently as you can. Okay, and final question. On this, we've got calcium hydroxide is both a base and an alkali. Refer to any relevant ions in your answer. Some definitions. So definitions, you're looking at 8 to 10% max, I think, of your marks will come from definitions. So there's not much to explain with this. We just need to make sure we know what they are. So a base, proton acceptor, or readily accepts H plus ions. And then for our alkali, you can say it's soluble but releases OH minus ions into a solution. So again, just purely off your definition. Do you know your definitions? If not, you've got to go away and make sure you commit those to memory. Okay, that's it on acid, bases, and neutralization. See you next time.